Jimmy Stewart is a legend in my life, especially for his movie, It's a Wonderful Life. So to see George Lasso's The Moon made me want to sing Buffalo Girls and start quoting all of the lines that I know by heart from It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart was born in Indiana, Pennsylvania on May 20th, 1908. His father owned the rural town's hardware store, and he always believed that Jimmy could fall back on working at the hardware store if he didn't become an architect, and never thinking that summer stock would turn into his son's career in Hollywood. The Jimmy Stewart Museum in Indiana, Pennsylvania does a wonderful job telling the story of its most famous native son. In fact, right there in that brick building was where his father owned the city's hardware store. And little did they know that they would eventually have a statue right where that American flag is, right below it, so that people could come learn about his life and admire the true gentleman that Jimmy Stewart was. The museum is broken up into different parts. They tell the story of his family's life, what was going on in Indiana, Pennsylvania when he was young. He was always very proud of being from this city. In fact, his Academy Award was housed in the hardware store. Something I didn't know was that Jimmy Stewart was in the military, and he joined the military after he won an Academy Award for the Philadelphia story. He joined the Army Air Corps, which then became the Air Force, and he eventually resigned as a brigadier general. This is a replica of his office that he had in Hollywood. Simple, humble, very much like the man himself. I love all of these little bits and pieces of his life, not only in Hollywood, but also in Indiana, Pennsylvania, and in the military. Jimmy Stewart graduated from Princeton in 1932 in the middle of the Depression. He couldn't find work, so he joined the University Players at Cape Cod, and the rest became history. He started working on Broadway and then in Hollywood, and there's my favorite of his movies, It's a Wonderful Life. I love the quote you see on the wall here. Never treat your audience's customers. Treat them as partners. Now this has copies of scripts. There's some pencil written on the pages of the scripts. It is so amazing to see his handiwork, his hard work, his study. They show matinees every weekend of Jimmy Stewart's famous films. You can go and you do that as a part of your museum experience. And there's Harvey, which is one of his quintessential characters. Jimmy Stewart was nominated for many awards, and he was nominated for Oscars many times. He won twice, one for the Philadelphia story and one for a Lifetime Achievement Award. This is what he wore. Tuxedo was common to wear, but I love they actually have one of his tuxedos there. His Academy Award was on display at his father's store. The museum even has the door to his Beverly Hills home, which shows some of the people who've passed through that door, famous neighbors of the era. And finally, I had to go see his home. This is the view from his front yard of the family's home in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Perfect for the hardware store owner's life. He could look out over all these homes and the people that he helped. And here's where he grew up. A nice, comfortable, middle-class home for a humble man. If I could do it over again, I would shape this video quite differently. That's part of the learning process of being here on YouTube. I'm unfortunately far from perfect. Like right now, I'm holding this in my hand and I can see it shaking. I know that might bother some of you. Oh, but I hope that it has whet your curiosity enough that if you're ever in the general vicinity of Pittsburgh, here's another fabulous place to go. Indiana, Pennsylvania is also known as quite the Christmas tree farm capital of Pennsylvania. One of quite a few cities who claim that, I found. But anyway, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again on a video soon.